Malik D, your financial credit guru, the hit maker, the score. Fox Soul's #1 financial literacy podcast. Today, I have my co-host, tax accountant / economist, Dan Green. Also, my guest, Marvin Wilson, business funding financial expert. I know a lot of you guys right now are pretty much trying to find avenues right now of getting some type of financial resources through your businesses. And we have something special for you today. We got Mr. Marvin Wilson that's going to help you guys and give you guys the information about business funding. Yes. Me and Marvin been rolling with each other for years. Mm-hmm. His business go hand in hand with mine. I'm a financial credit consultant. And you have to have some type of form of a good established credit on the personal side in order to get the business funding on the business side. Absolutely. And what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about how you can secure those finances and those resources from these financial institutions. But first, let me say this to all business owners, small business owners. We know that you have been affected by this economic downturn. And if you're out here moving around thinking that we're not in a recession just because they won't mention the word recession, you are from another planet. Mm-hmm. You are definitely out of whack, and you are definitely not within these times.
We're all in a recession. You've had 2 quarters of negative growth. That's a recession.
Yep.
And if you guys thinking that you can continue to keep on moving the way you moving in this economy, business-wise, you're going to have a rude awakening here very, very soon as we are increasing within momentum of this dark recession that's getting ready to take place. But I got Mr. Marvin Wilson here that we're going to chop it up to give you guys some financial plays, some financial layups as to how you can secure business funding to fund your businesses while we're going through these financial economical times and crisis. Marvin Wilson, good to have you on the show, The Score. Want to ask you, how long you been doing this, brother?
Jumped into this, Malik, like 2015. I went from 1 to 10, man. I was into the entertainment lane.
Okay.
I was in corporate ticketing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And we put the deal together with Hampton University. The athletic director to bring CIAA was here. So I've always been around the money.
Oh, you was rocking with that CIAA like that?
Yeah, I was on that other side, And so me and, God bless, Wayne Davis, the first Kappa class to come out of UNC Chapel Hill. He had a black semi-pro baseball team. And he had got an opportunity to get into corporate ticketing. He took over a ticketing platform. And then we made the play with Hampton. They had the keys at the time.
Oh, okay.
And we gave him a profit that he couldn't refuse. So we basically, he was making $3 on every ticket sold in CIAA.
Ooh. And CIAA was huge too here in Charlotte.
Oh yes,
very huge.
Very successful.
Yeah. So when you seen that woman come in that took over, he was good.
Wow. And they ran the CIAA up out of Charlotte as well, too. Yep. And I think it moved to D.C. or Baltimore or something like that.
Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was doing extremely well here in the city. Mm-hmm. It was bringing a lot of money, a lot of income to this city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, man. I think the first year we did close to like $78 million in 3 days.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, me and Malik talk about it, man. They know us.
Right.
We're consumers.
Absolutely.
We're gonna spend.
And the thing about it was is that I remember that they would talk about how well behaved everybody was, and how when they left Charlotte just like they was when they got here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you never heard about any disorder. I mean, any disorderly conduct. People conducted themselves. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah. They came to Charlotte. They seen the streets was clean.
Exactly.
It was a nice city, and it was respected, man. But it just the powers that be, they took them out to South Park, and everything changed.
Yes.
Wow. Well, let's spin around to talk about these business funding programs that you have. available with people, especially our community, the black and brown communities that are business owners, that are experiencing some type of turbulence right now and suffering financially from their businesses being impacted from the quantitative tightening that's taking place out here in the economy from the feds. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
Yes.
So, with those, measures put into play, and the resources are hard to come by now, people are looking for some type of outlet to still fund their business. And I know there's been $2 trillion that recently got injected. I mean, it actually came from the federal government that got injected into these financial institutions so they can actually lend to people on the business front. You know what I mean? With these different programs and things that's rolling out. And they just, like I said, they just recently put this $2 trillion out here. Now, when we was dealing with the, the quantitative easing or whatever the case might be, when they was putting money out here for the businesses dealing with the PPPs or dealing with the EIDL, the SBA EIDL loans and things like that. I mean, that's dead. It's no more of that. Because,
it ain't coming back.
It ain't coming back because it was too much scamming and too much stealing going on, and everybody had all the sense. You know what I mean? Now with these $2 trillion that they just recently put out here into these financial institutions, I mean, to lend to businesses, it's more stipulations involved now. I mean, that makes it a little bit more harder for you to get those resources to fund your businesses. So I want to flow with you, politic with you, so we can give this information and knowledge to our community that are business owners, you know what I mean, that can receive the type of resources from these financial institutions since they back lending now from getting this $2 trillion.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, appreciate, Malik, the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely.
Man. We've been kicking and talking on the phones. This podcast is, y'all ready? But I mean, I guess go back to when this COVID hit. I made a whole lot of business decisions myself, but I was ready. We wasn't, but us as a people, we got ready. The government learned a lot about us, but I think that we need to know that we had to learn about what's going on right now. Like what Malik's saying, now it's a little bit more. It's a lot harder to get funding now, even with that money that they just put out there. So the SBA pretty much gave us the plan and the layout of what it's supposed to be. Now, it was a lot of gray areas, and we played with that. Right? To get that IDL money, I was helping processing a lot of people with that. Now, I stayed on my side, but at the end of the day, they just wanted a little bit of social media content, EIN number, and a little bit of this and this and that, and they was sending you a check. Right?
But a lot of people didn't deserve those checks that they was getting.
Exactly. They was formulating, creating the LLCs.
Didn't have legitimate businesses.
Having people creating the LLC, putting the EIN together, or buying an old, going back and getting an old business. And, they was just doing a lot of stuff to get the money. But at the end of the day, what they was asking for is actually the model that you're going to have now. Because now they not only that, they're going to look at that score. They're going to look at your personal credit score.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not going to be a 620 no more.
Those days are gone?
Those days are gone. Those days are gone because they seen what came through.
Exactly.
People with a 620 credit score, you giving them $100,000?
Or with a 620 credit score, if they do entertain that, like you said, ain't no more of that, but if they do entertain a 620 credit score, they're going to give you those subprime rates.
Right. 1%? Them people went crazy. What? We heard 1%, and you're going to give me $100,000 and give me 30 years? Oh, my God.
30 years to pay it off.
Man, it used to
30 years.
3.75%.
Hey, it was crazy.
It was.
Man. It was crazy. But
salad days.
But to go back, man, it's just that, with me, when I opened up and what I call myself, Malik, I jumped into it because not only I was more of, talking about business credit and things like that in my business, but I said, for me to get into those rooms, you know what I'm saying? I want to make the money, of course, but I always was just stimulated about the information. Like with Malik, he does a whole lot of due diligence on this information that he's talking about. That's why he's here.
Exactly.
He stay relevant. So for me, what took us, just to jump on it right quick, what took us out of business when I was in the ticketing world was technology. Why would you need a ticketing company when you had Eventbrite? You create your own tickets, right? So when I got on the financial side, not only I was going to come and be an expert with the business credit and understand underwriting criteria and different things of that sort, but I wanted to get on the technology side because I know these banks on the corner, that's gonna be fading away. I seen.
Of course they are.
I seen Facebook got funding, Amazon got funding.
Yeah.
Everybody got a bank. Everybody doing some type of funding, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get more on the technology side. So I looked at the best economy that's in the country right now, and that's Utah. It is. And so the Mormons is, hey, Las Vegas they carried the book. They next door.
Very wealthy.
They were the bookkeepers. Yeah. So I always paid attention to really what was going on there. So I made an investment into Lendeo Central Charlotte. So what it is more of, I can do lending and funding anywhere in the country, but I want to hear this banking capital here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's trillions of dollars come through here. But I want
in Charlotte.
In Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Charlotte, Queen City.
Second biggest banking center in the country.
Yeah. But go back to the point about Malik understanding and knowing that, him being an expert in credit, me on the business funding side, it's a lot of missing information.
Absolutely.
And people walking around like they sheeple, man.
Exactly.
And they'll get you them subprime. They'll get you all.
Let's take a quick.
Stuff.
I'm gonna take a quick commercial break real quick so we can pay some bills.
Okay.
But hold that thought because I want us to get right back to that.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to the school. We got Mr. Marvin Wilson here, business funding financial expert. Let's continue the conversation that we was moving forward with before we had that quick commercial break.
Yeah, man. Our guys jumping out here getting 20, 30% interest rates on things, man. Everybody that comes to me, Malik, 90% of the people that come to me, first thing in business, you know what they say? Man, I want a line of credit. Okay. You're a startup. When I look at their bank statements, I know there's no revenue coming through there. And even if you went to Malik and got a 700 plus credit score and got primaries and you suited and booted, if they don't see no money coming through that business, it ain't like it used to be.
Can't service the debt.
It ain't like that Navy. Remember that Navy credit card? You get the card and get the line of credit.
And get the line of credit with it. That's over with.
That day's over with.
And you know why, Marvin? Because they was treating it like I just keep saying this, man.
It does.
In our community, we always get our hands on something that can benefit us and catapult us and take us to the next level. And they always chop it down to treat it like a hustle. Always.
Always. Mm-hmm.
They take something so perfectly good and put shit on it.
Yep. Every time.
And then what happens now? Then they start changing all the criterias to make it even harder to go get the funding that you need. And now you need it the most in this type of economy that we in financially.
Yep.
So with these business funding programs having these certain type of stipulations associated with it now, I'm glad they put it into play. Yeah. I'm glad they put it into effect because that weeds out the individuals that's out here hooking and crooking, scamming, thinking they got all the sense, reinventing the wheel, thinking that everything is sweet. Oh, man, I got to hustle. Oh, man, I got to juke, so I'm getting ready to run and mess up the whole system. But I'm glad that they put them stipulations into play with this $2 trillion that just got injected into these financial institutions, because for the ones that really run a business in our communities, the black and brown people, they can utilize and tap into it. As long as they got their financials in order, as long as they got their tax returns in order. And this is where my co-host Dan Green comes in at, because he's a tax accountant and he's very good at what he do. So we're having all those financials into play, and like you stated, showing some type of residual income, some type of finance, movement components as far as income coming in through the business. I know right now it's going to be kind of hard to show that because of the tightening that's going on within the economy. But I'm pretty sure you have some type of programs out there that still can put people in a position where they can go get some business funding. But the number one thing, they gotta have personal good credit.
Gotta have good credit.
So let's build.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, we're building off this. Business credit is one thing. It's a lot of weight on it right now. I'm seeing a lot of newsletters, even Bank of America talking about business credit.
Really?
Yeah, they talking about it, But not so much to teach you, but say, hey, we can, come over here and get your business credit card and all this. So,
But they're giving it up, though. I heard about that too. Bank of America is giving up those business credit cards, and they're giving up that business funding and those business lines of credit and those business personal loans too at a pretty 7.25% interest rate.
Yeah, 7.2 up to like 10. I've seen up to 12. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, business, your credit score needs to definitely be 680, and you at least need to have, I would say, maybe a good 10 to 12 years of credit history.
Okay.
On prime, like mortgage, cars, more term loan type things. You have to have some revolving
something that's established.
Yeah. Now you bring that with a business, then you're automatically going to get probably a 50 to 100 credit, and that's the easiest thing to get out of banks is credit cards. We know that now. I got a lender right now, and that's what I'm preaching. A lot of my startup companies. If you know how to work with credit cards, it's the best thing. Right. And Mr. Green, we were talking about with guys that's in real estate. It's a hard that and trucking is a restricted area. It's sort of hard to get funding with trucking. People think, well, because trucking is trucking, but it's all about either it's equipment or it's gas cards. It's things. What really is the pain in the neck for truck drivers, right? It's gas right now.
The fuel, the
diesel.
The diesel,
right. And that's where the
they're
business
getting killed,
credit.
they're getting slammed.
Yeah, that's where that business credit come in at. But at the end of the day, I'm making way more money than showing people the difference of a line of credit or a 0% interest credit card. And really, it's so interesting because I'm trying to tell them it's the game. Because of what I see, I've seen a couple Indian dudes, a couple people that's not of us, come and get some gas stations. What's that new casino we building down there? Getting gas stations, get them little convenience stores, and they'll come in there, three of them, 2 or 3 of them, and they'll have 800 plus credit scores and come and get a $250,000 worth of 0% interest credit cards.
Oh,
and you know what they'll do? They'll liquidate those cards, turn it into cash, and go to work.
And then as they make the revenue coming back through the businesses and things like that,
What's
then
the
they
difference?
pay the credit cards off.
With that kind of rate,
Yeah. You're gonna get 2 or 3 of them a piece. All of them walking away with 125.
And that's how they.
And they in business together.
Yeah.
Now
A lot of them are family members.
Yeah. But it's just that everybody wants a line of credit and things like that. But you got to understand, you got to be. You ain't ready for that. They ain't looking. They ain't gonna give you that. You know what I mean? So the best thing to do is just to come to business with great credit. And if you're going to get in business with anybody, you got to make sure that they got good credit.
And I'm gonna want to say to my viewers and my listeners, if you guys got any credit related issues, I've been in the business 29 years now as a financial credit guru expert. I don't miss. And my work speaks for itself because there's a lot of individuals out there. I got a Rolodex of around about 18,000 to 19,000 clients in my Rolodex. And I've been doing this for over damn near 30 years now.
And I've known him for 20, and I've met some of his clients firsthand, and I know I can attest to his abilities. He's very good at what he does.
I have celebrity clients. I have middle class, working class citizen clients, blue collar, white collar, you name it. Maybe you guys don't know who I am now, but by watching this podcast, you will know who I am. But a lot of people out there that have retained my services, we have put them in houses. We have put them in, we have catapulted their businesses and took it to the next level. They have received the proper funding and the financing that they was looking to do. And like I said, my work speaks for itself. I'm not being arrogant or cocky with it. It is what it is. But if you guys got any kind of financial credit related issues, go to my website, www.malikdavis.com, and retain that fast track credit cleanup service program. You're going to need that credit from where we get ready to head. And I'm not trying to instill fear in you or to put the fear on you, but I'm just telling you like it is. Do not get caught slipping out here with bad credit. Individuals that's got good credit, they're going to be able to play this game out here financially because you can make money during a recession if you properly structured right.
Right.
So if you got any kind of credit-related issues, go to www.malikdavis.com and retain the fast track service, and my staff is going to deal with you. If you guys don't have the funds or the resources right now to retain the credit services of the fast track, then go to my website. No, excuse me. Go to Amazon and purchase my book, Break the Chains with Credit Tips and Secrets. In that book, I have put tips and secrets in that book to show you how to start the process of restoring your credit on your own. I mean, hell, it's an investment. So invest into yourself, because right now, people are in dire need of resources to continue to stay aboard to float their businesses. But I'm going to get back to Marvin so he can continue to keep on talking about these business funding programs.
Yes, I'll tell you, man. What he's telling you guys, you got to pay attention to it, because we are in a recession right now. You know, and
they hate to say that we're in a recession. They hate to use that word.
The media and
the media.
Yeah. Yep.
They hate to use that word.
The mainstream media.
Mainstream media.
Yep. Yep. And so the thing is, I would say for the most part is, you know, when I have my soft spot. Usually people say, well, Marvin, what's your soft spot as far as the amounts of funding that you get people?
Yeah.
And I tell people, I say, well, I put it like this. It pretty much is a range from $50K to $250,000. Okay, that's where I'm at. When you start,
Marv, I hate to cut you off. Let's take a quick commercial break so we can pay these bills.
All right.
Malik D, the school. Welcome back to the school, Marvin. Let's pick up from where we left off at. You know, prior to the commercial break.
Yep.
On this business funding.
Absolutely, man. Startup companies, I mean, it'd rather be $50K to get your lawn service going, some equipment up to $250,000. You know, that's where I come in at. Pretty much been an expert in that area. And what it is more of the technology, guys. You know, I'm not trying to sit up here and say I'm the smartest guy in the world, but I did buy into almost, over $150,000 of banking technology.
Wow.
Right? And so what that does, I can come in at any time with this proprietary system and look at all underwriting criteria with most major banks and small lenders.
Wow.
And they're all fighting for each other's, fighting for individuals' businesses. But what I do is based on throwing people out there as a soft pull, pre-quals, and it comes back and it matches your criteria. But it's going to spit you out if you ain't got good credit. And it ain't even getting in there.
So you basically match an applicant up with a lender.
Yeah. Yeah, the technology.
The technology, though. I mean, your proprietary software.
That's why we can go out and get people. When you go to Wells Fargo, you go out there and they get you a $25,000 credit card. Okay, then you say, man, let me go to a credit union. Let me go to another bank, and then you go apply. Well, this is the expert right here. Them inquiries is gonna catch up with you.
I was going to ask you that affect your score.
I was just getting ready to ask you that. How many inquiries within a certain time frame on that credit file will prevent you from getting that type of funding?
Yeah. With
these funding programs that you have.
Yep. So, and the thing is when they call it shopping.
Yeah, they're shopping around.
Yeah, they call it shopping. So basically what it is, like going back to that technology, what's so brilliant about it is that we can match you up with 3 or 4 cards simultaneously at the same time. It's like one pool.
You answered my question.
One pool. So that's why I was ecstatic about the opportunity with here being on the school with Malik, because what he has and what we can do together, because we're trying to tell people this is what it's got to be, guys. We can't work with you if you ain't got good credit. Period. You can come to me all day. Hey, Marvin, I got the 80 paydex score, and I hate when they say 100 credit. Man, that don't matter. It doesn't matter at this point, because if you ain't got that Walmart business credit, see that stuff. And when you go into Walmart, people got to understand that stuff was bought on business credit years ago.
What you mean?
Based on the inventory. That's why Patty LaBelle wouldn't stay on there for 2 to 3. She couldn't keep up the inventory, the supply and demand on Walmart. You got to think about how many Walmarts in this country.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I went down.
And
to
they
Arkansas.
their distribution system is incredible.
Yeah, and so in order to keep your product on their shelf, just imagine how strong your business credit has to be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how they absorb some of these smaller stuff that wants to get into Walmart, and they wind up partnering and buying them out. We wind up being their stuff, and now it's Walmart. I know it because I was down and I seen it firsthand. But that's the model of business credit. Being able to everything in there is straight cash, man. You seen at Walmart. You see people shopping and using credit cards,
Yeah.
but that stuff being paid for. That that mayonnaise, man,
Yeah.
that's business credit. But for the smaller version, for the small guys, entrepreneurs out there, man, I say get out, get in something that you're passionate about, get your credit score up, go to Malik, get your credit right. And then at the end of the day, man, we got the link. He got the link.
Yeah,
go
that link
straight to that link.
Yeah, go to this link right here if you're looking for any type of business funding with Marvin and his business funding programs and his products at www.elitebusinessfunding.com. That's www.elitebusinessfundingportal. www.elitebusinessfundingportal.com. Go to there. Check out this brother's products that he got available because he got a ton of them. But I want to politic with you a little bit more on what have you seen when an individual comes to you for business funding that would get them denied?
Well,
On their personal credit reports, not just the business report itself, because that business that business profile has to be properly structured.
that's true. Yeah. So the biggest thing with that is, and Malik is correct, you can have an 80 paydex score, they'll have a 4506, they ready to go. But the thing is, when it comes to their personal credit, one is the credit debt ratio is too high. I mean, how are you going to be able to go and hit 2 or 3 different entities for funding? Because that's what I look at. I'm trying to get you funded with 2 or 3 places, not just one.
Yeah.
But how are you going to be able to do that when you already at 35% credit debt ratio?
Over the limit.
Yeah. And see, the thing is with the pros and cons, what I've learned is that when I was able to start developing my business credit, I had to realize, and I looked at with Donald Trump and them good old boys, see, there is no credit debt ratio on business. You'll never hear anybody say that.
Because you see,
I promise you.
because you see companies that are in bankruptcy still get funding.
They still get
from
funding.
banks.
Right. You see
And
what I'm saying?
you'll get a Wall Street bank, or you'll get a major money center bank that will lend them money. They're in Chapter 13,
thank
and they
you.
still get money.
Yeah, and people don't understand that. So if you can't
Trump did it.
Yeah, exactly. So when you go to someone or myself to good for funding, one, and Malik knows this, one, you need to be 2, 3, 4, 5% credit debt ratio. You need to pretty much all inquiries, no charge-offs. I mean, it needs to be straight for you to go out there and get the maximum amount of funding. But I think pretty much most of the turn downs is payment history and credit debt ratio.
That makes sense.
Maxed out credit cards.
Yep. They done that. Now they back
Exactly.
trying to wash that. No, you still over here in debt, and then you want some more money. What you want me to do? So
Well, a lot of people that I have actually serviced as far as retaining my services, and they speak to me about business credit, not the business funding part. I mean, even though they need business funding, but they like we spoke earlier in this conversation, that your business portfolio still needs to be properly structured.
It does.
Because what happens is that when your profile is structured right, it's set up right, banking institutions and lending institutions want to see it that way.
Yeah.
On top of your personal credit report being in a position of excellence.
Yep.
So when they go back to personal grantor, PG it, because they always going to make reference back to that personal credit report. I don't give a damn if the business credit or your business is properly set up all the way to the T. Them banks is still going to reflect and refer back to your personal credit to do a personal grantor to make sure you're stable in your situation, situated in that area.
Absolutely.
Then they'll move back over and say, okay, your business profile is properly set up right. You got your DUNS number. You got to have vendors. You got to have business trade lines on there too. They want to see some type of relationships or some type of transactions between other vendors out there that puts you in a position, okay, they solid.
Yep.
Business because you did business with other companies, you did good business, you paid them on time. Now we have a business trade line on this business portfolio profile. So that puts you in a position now to go get funded for an even larger amount of finances or resources to fund your business versus 50,000 versus 100,000 when you can step out there and get yourself a $500,000, a $500,000,
Yeah, that's
or
true.
a clean million, or whatever the
Yeah,
case might
absolutely.
be. With the bank still having those type of underwriting stipulations into effect right now.
Yep.
So, with these other programs, now I did hear you speak about 620s and 620s is out the door. But I'm pretty sure it's some lend because what they doing now, they rolling out all these subprime lending programs again, like they did back in 07, 08, and 09.
Yeah.
Look at over here in the mortgage sector when they came out with this black and brown mortgage program,
Yeah.
stating that, zero money down.
As a matter of fact, Bank of America just came out with,
Yeah.
within the last month
Yeah.
with a new subprime program. They don't call it that.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
And
That's
it's
exactly what
and
it
it's
is,
targeted to black and brown communities.
Yeah.
Minority. You have to be a minority to qualify.
And they did the same thing in 2008.
Yeah.
They just every time we into this type of crisis, they come up and they prime the pump. It's the
Actually, it
same
started
thing.
in the late '90s.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
That's when because I was
That's
in
true.
it then. So yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Yep.
So,
So
yeah.
the thing is, I think that when it comes to funding, people got to understand what it really needs to look like, And so you got to, like I said, you got to have great credit, great credit history, and you can't be looking like you're maxed out there, And then and again, like Malik was also stating that you can have excellent business credit, but them banks want to know who you are.
Exactly.
They want to know who this is over here.
Let's take a quick commercial break so we can pay these bills, but we're going to jump right back on this as soon as we come back from this break.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the school. Mr. Marvin Wilson, with business funding financial expert. Let's take off from where we left.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, I get most of the people that come to my desk, and a lot of times, I have account managers and people that pretty much just look over the profile. For me, I do more consulting now and more of people they got their stuff together. If I can go and say, hey, man, do you got your P&Ls? Do you got your 45? Have you filed your taxes? Yada, yada. Okay, now I can take you to my big boys and I can get you $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, ain't even no conversation. But the first and foremost is still go back to what me and Malik keep saying. What's your credit score? Because you can still have all that stuff. But if you ain't got a 680, something strong 680.
Very strong.
Very strong. They say 680, but you really riding the fence with that.
You're limiting yourself. That's the minimum required credit score
And
is
you-
a 680.
And
Yeah.
you need deep credit, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like mortgage.
Yes,
You need to have a mortgage.
Great
Installment loans on there, auto loans that you have for quite some time, even though it's called installment credit, but they also want to see that revolving credit too. Revolving credit, revolving lines of credit. Once again, back to credit cards with your credit utilization down anywhere between 25 to 30%, or your debt to income ratio down anywhere between 25 to 30% or lower.
Yep.
Because they want to see that revolving history on there. Season. You got to have some type of established season revolving credit.
Yep.
Because they looking at that. Yeah, installment is cool. See, a lot of people don't know the difference between revolving credit and installment credit.
Right.
Installment credit is dealing with mortgages, dealing with student loans, dealing with the auto loans, personal loans. That's what you call installment credit. Long-term paying credit.
Yeah.
Versus revolving credit, such as revolving lines of credit that's revolving, that you just make the minimum payment every single month as you use what you use on these revolving lines of credit, personal revolving lines of credit, or credit cards. Credit cards are considered as being revolving credit. Credit is always into use. You're always using that credit. So it's creating some type of algorithm movement with that revolving credit. It's always constantly moving. It's always constantly in effect. So as long as you keep those debt to income ratios and those credit utilizations down
Yep.
on that revolving season age revolving credit, because they want to at least see 2 to 3 years or more
Yeah.
of a revolving trade line on
Yep.
your credit file in order to consider you fundable.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
With these programs out here. Now you did state, and you did say 620s is out of the picture. Okay, now like we talking about, they rolling out these subprime loans again, these
Yep.
subprime lending again, and they're going to put more of these subprime lending programs out here because they trying to lend to the consumers.
Yep.
But they're doing it through the businesses right now. So if individuals are in a situation with damaged credit, 620, 630, 640, 650. They're gonna have a program for them, but they're gonna give them that damn subprime loan, subprime lending program at a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
So with those higher interest rates associated with these subprime loans, because individuals don't have that 750, 760, 780, 800, 820, 830 credit score, which puts them in a whole different type of bracket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where their payment structure is different versus these subprime programs that they're rolling out for a 620 or 630 credit score. People are going to be into some situations with these subprime programs that they're rolling out. On top of them having these high ass interest rates associated with it. Let's build on that.
Yeah, man. Well, like, again, me having almost a plethora, I got close to 90 different lenders that I work with. And they said, well, Marvin, of course, business. Do you have any personal funding opportunities? I say, absolutely. You know, but the most of them
Outside of the business.
outside of the
Okay,
business.
go ahead.
Yeah, and so what do we call it? Call it hybrid funding.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah,
you can-
yeah. Because sometimes when people come to you and say if me and Malik got an LLC and we created a business 2 weeks ago, right?
You're not going to have any business.
We ain't got really nothing to bring to the table, but two excellent guys that trust one another, and we got excellent credit, right? So to max out and give us the max amount of opportunities, right? What we'll do is on our side, we'll let them know, hey, listen, guys, you know, now how much money are you trying to get? Well, me and Malik, Malik, what you trying to do? Well, we need 150. Okay. Well, it could probably be doable because we got excellent credit and we're two individuals. But what we can do as a double PG is we can go out and get you personal and business credit cards. And a lot of people, why would you want to go get personal? Well, most people are funding their businesses with personal credit anyway. But in the end of the day, again, there's a lot of things with balance transfers. It's a lot of that, taking that credit debt ratio off those credit cards and putting it on the business where there is no credit debt ratio. You see what I'm saying? We call it ping pong back in the day.
Oh, really?
But it's transferring. It's transferring your debt and you tucking it in on the business, because ain't nobody here. I can be maxed out on the business. I'm okay over there, but as long as my personal credit cards
You
ain't
can
maxed
still
out.
swing it.
Thank you.
You can still swing it. You can still put it in circulation.
Yeah. So me and him can get together and know what we got with these cards and be able to know we can be able to make moves with these cards, but as long as we know those balances is got to be the ones that we were using, and until we make that profit margin, it needs to be on the business side. But we can still use those personal.
Let me ask you this question. You into the business funding.
Right.
Seasoned vet, experienced vet with this program and with the business funding.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of them credit privacy numbers, them CPN numbers that came across your emails or came across your funding programs. And with the CPN numbers, a lot of people think that these CPN numbers is something that, oh, you have a right to have a secondary social security number. I have a right to take this as the place of a secondary credit file so I can conduct my business in, but they fabricate it. They running them through a system like SafeScan, LexisNexis, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Basically belonging to someone that's deceased or creating that number to try to make it seem and take the place of a social security number to start establishing new credit on that fictitious profile.
Yep.
Have you seen a lot of those fictitious CPN numbers coming through your system?
Oh my God, yeah, we got a certain system now that when we run them through, even with bank statements, we spits them out like everything, man. Boop, red flag, red flag, red flag. The thing is, man, with these CPN numbers, I mean, it was something that was, it was sort of created for the elite. right? Because some maybe a superstar might be wanting to live right beside you, but they might not want you to know that was their house. It was a way that the attorneys procured it, and it was you though. But now, like Malik's saying, we're taking numbers from people in prison and people that's deceased,
children, babies,
all kinds of
So
stuff.
I want to make sure I understand. So you say if I wanted to take my deceased mother's Social Security number and use it.
It's a little bit different than that.
Yeah.
Because they changed the prefixes on those numbers. They play around with those numbers. And they run it through a system like LexisNexis, SafeScan, to make sure that number doesn't ping to belong to anyone else or to a deceased person, where they can put it into circulation to create that profile.
So you've got people that people that have created a cottage industry of doing that, creating that for other people.
No, people got $1 million businesses doing that.
But somebody had to do it for. I mean, somebody created that for them. They paid somebody to.
Yeah.
They're paying people. Hey, there's people getting paid $3,000-$4,000 to create a profile.
But you know what?
A dummy profile. That's like a dummy profile.
And a dummy profile is not nothing that would that Malik would have to work on for someone with their Social Security.
Yeah, because
number.
see, I have a system where I can track all those CPN numbers to come through. I know the difference when a person retains my services. See, that's what I told you. It's a lot it's a lot that you just don't know about what it is, how important his business is that correlates with my business.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when a CPN number or someone comes up under the auspice of wanting to retain my services and don't want to take upon themselves to get their personal credit straight, but want to come to me with a CPN number, I'm able to tell whether that's a real Social Security number versus a fabricated number by my system that I have. And so when I see things like that, I don't even follow up with the client, because I always do an analysis first. I always do my homework first to see who it is who I'm doing business with.
Right.
Let's take a quick commercial break to pay these bills, and we're going to jump right back into this. Malik D, the Score. Welcome back to the Score. Where we was at talking about these CPN numbers.
Yeah, man.
I'm able to actually see in my system whether it's a fabricated number versus a real Social Security number when I'm dealing with an individual. And like I stated, I do an analysis of each and every client first before I actually move forward to engage with that client, because every dollar is not my dollar.
Right.
I'm not into the business to continue to snatch every dollar that presents itself to me. I'm actually in this financial credit counseling business to actually help individuals further them along through their personal, with their personal credit, with their businesses, etc. Not to create a hook and crook and a juke situation with an individual trying to be nickel dime slick.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when I never follow back up with individuals when I see that. And what's happening now, those federal agencies are cracking down on those CPN numbers. So individuals that actually think that they're riding off into the sunset with these fabricated numbers by putting a little $300, $400, $500 credit card on there, or a $200 credit card on there to try to establish credit, and then build it up from that point to go out there and jukes and stick up these financial institutions without a gun. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what they're doing. They sticking up these financial institutions without a gun through paperwork. And what's happening now is that the feds is cracking down on it, because now they're obtaining goods and they're obtaining services with a fictitious number. And then what happens next, it starts to merge with your real file, because at some point in time, it's going to merge with your real Social Security number. And when that happens, they're knocking on your door.
They're knocking on your door. Yep.
So they're going through all that just to have like a $300 or $400 credit line?
No, they're doing all of that. They're doing all of that because they don't want to take out the time to get there, or they don't have an outlet or a reputable type of credit fixer that can fix their credit on their real Social Security number. So they'd rather jump out here with a fictitious number to try to start establishing new credit, because the process is a little bit more quicker than actually using your own credit if it's already damaged, not unless
getting
you
it
meet
repaired.
somebody like myself
Right.
that could come in and put that spin on that credit real quick to bring it back to life. Because I know all the law statute codes, the law practice codes. I mean, I deal with the Consumer Affairs Department within the credit bureaus, the Consumer Protection Bureaus within the credit bureaus, in order to know how to properly deal with an individual's file. See, people think just because they got derogatory and delinquent glitches or negative information on their credit file, then it's over with. No. There are remedies, there are things put into play per the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws that put you in a position where you can get that information removed off your credit file, on your personal real credit file, that puts you in a position now where you can start navigating and using your personal credit to take care of your personal needs and your business needs.
Yep. He's right. We got rights as consumers. We don't even know. He does. So you got to get it in the right hands, man. If not, you're gonna be in a self-made prison out here, because you don't know, And in the credit bureaus, man, they'll play with you all day.
Oh man, they'll drag you out.
They'll play with you all day.
They'll drag you out. They'll drag you out. They'll delay you. For an individual that don't have the patience or the time or know the knowledge and the information on how to restore their credit,
Right.
they're going to drag you out. They're going to drain you. And it's designed to be that way.
Yeah.
So that's why people end up jumping out there thinking that they're reinventing the wheel or recreating the wheel by jumping out there purchasing a CPN number like it's something that's new.
Yep.
They've been running that hustle ever since 1990, 1989.
Yep.
That ain't nothing new.
Yep. And they had got so good with it. See, CPNs, it was easy for people to go in there and put one AU on there and go get any kind of card
And
you
an
want.
AU is an authorized user.
I'm
You
sorry.
can get added onto
okay.
someone's
Yeah,
card
yeah,
to
yeah.
try to show
That'll
some
boost your score.
To boost your score and all that other kind of
Oh,
stuff.
okay,
Yeah. So
Yeah, I've
$4
heard
or
about that.
$500, pay for some of the CPN, and you got a whole new life.
You got an 800 credit score.
You got an 800 credit score. So what that says, okay, verification income, you go get you a car, you go get that apartment and all that. But they had got so bad, these guys was going in with in the mortgages with them things. They had got so bad.
I listen.
They was getting.
I know this one girl that used the CPN number and purchased a mortgage with a CPN number. And then the next thing you know, I heard she was in federal court taking a plea bargain for using fictitious information to defraud the financial institution, the lending institutions on a property. They gave her 6 years.
Ooh, wow.
Let me ask you something. What is a paydex score?
Paydex score is basically your business credit score. That's just like going and getting a secured card from a bank for $100. That's what it looked like. But it gets you a score.
Right.
But it's nothing. It's a myth. You got a score. But when you go to those guys and you don't have that small business exchange, you ain't got that LexisNexis, you ain't got no lease, you ain't got none of that on your business credit, nada. It ain't going to work. Because you're not built up that right way. You ain't paying no real bills, man.
Gotcha.
You ain't doing no real business.
You ain't doing no real business,
with these vendors.
Yeah. And so the thing is just like, and Malik, and we need to put this in our community. Most different ethnic groups do business together, man.
I've been saying that for
You know?
years. You go to Hispanic community, any subset of the Asian community, they stick together.
Yeah,
and they
figure
pool their
out-
resources.
Yeah, they figure out if they get inside there with the Dun and Brad with that information.
Right.
We understand. Okay, Malik, how can we support one another on
Right.
a monthly basis and move this money around and make sure it's reporting on our business?
Exactly.
We just doing business as usual.
And do
But
business with each other.
But if you're gonna do it, at least let it be reporting.
Exactly.
So you could create some type of business trade lines.
Thank you. Other than that, you're just doing something out here, and if it ain't being credible for you, then
Right.
It's other companies out here, and I'm not hating, and I don't want any individuals to think that I'm hating on their credit counseling business or their business building business. But a lot of people out here seem to think by going to purchase these age corporations that's going to catapult them financially, where they can use another corporation that supposedly have all the taxes up to date with it. And once again, this is another old hustle.
Right.
It's nothing new up under the
nothing
sun.
It's a dormant corporation.
No.
no,
Listen
no.
to me. Listen to me. A lot of people that's out here selling those products now. with these age corporations telling individuals that they come with the tax returns and the tax is already up to date on the corporation. They have vendors and business trade lines on the corporations. They have the business set up properly.
Yep.
Within the 411 directories and all that. Mm-hmm. And it had and these corporations are aged in their season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
It's a hook and it's a crook and
yep.
it's a juke situation just to get you on the line to pay $20,000, $16,000, $30,000 for an age corporation.
That doesn't exist.
No. That basically doesn't have all the proper taxes filed and put and properly up to date. Mm-hmm. When you start investigating that shell or chef corporation, you'll start to uncover as you do your due diligence that the things that they were selling you on with these corporations haven't even been brought up to speed.
It's a hustle.
Mm-hmm. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this podcast session up with the school. Pleasure having you on today,
Definitely.
Mr. Marvin Wilson.
Me, very informative. Very informative.
And we're going to get you back. But I want to put these handles out here for individuals that want to utilize your business funding services as far as getting the business funding.
Yep.
That's www.elitebusinessfundingportal.com. That's www.elitebusinessfundingportal.com. My services to get your credit clean is www.malikdavis.com for the fast track. Or if you can't afford my services at www.malikdavis.com to get your credit clean, fast track, then purchase my books on Amazon. Break the Chains with Credit Tips and Secrets.
Let me give a big shout out to my crew in Lindio Central Charlotte, the first non-depository bank in Charlotte, financial technology bank. Big ups to y'all guys.
And there it is, the
All right.
school.